Association, IARC, and he's our teammate. He's the rest of our team. Unfortunately, the majority of our team is, they've been on internships for the summer, so we're mainly going to be observing at this competition just because our team wasn't really in full force, so we weren't able to accomplish a lot of the tasks we were trying to accomplish. So basically, I'm just going to give a quick overview to the best of my knowledge as I can. I'm a fairly new member to this competition, so this is our quad. That's not a completely recent picture, but there's a few more things on that, like the 360 LiDAR and stuff like that. But it's a Lumineer QAV 550 with a fixed hawk, an Odroid computer, and it is a wide-angle down-facing camera, as well as optical flow. And then on top, it has the RP LiDAR. So this is a fixed hawk. You guys are pretty familiar with that. It seems like a lot of you are using that. I don't think I need to go too in depth. That we use it for our line tracking and for our just knowing our overall position within the grid. Here's our LiDAR. So the main use for this is for detecting objects. So as we're flying around the grid, and I'll explain our main algorithms later, basically the gist of our master code. But this is for our collision detection state in our state machine. And our onboard computing system is the Odroid. Not really much I can go into detail about that. Okay, so autonomous, we have a LiDAR on the bottom of the quad, and then we have the 360 LiDAR for detecting if there's anything around us. And optical flow, we're using that to detect where we are in the grid based on our starting position, and then essentially create a map of the grid and predict, based on where we're headed, what position in the grid will become, or we will end up in. And again, I'll go over that once we get to the state machine and the master code. So we were able to detect with our down-facing wide-angle camera, we are able to recognize Roombas, and we are able to recognize lines. Those were two of the parts of our code that we were able to complete pretty well and test. We didn't really run many simulations. Most of our testing was physical in our labs. And this picture is just of the detection of one of the Roombas on the floor. So this is our state machine. This was kind of our idea for how to go about this competition. So essentially, we would bounce back and forth between flying a search pattern and searching for Roombas. And so essentially the quad would take off, fly around in a search pattern that we coded. And as it's performing that search pattern, it would search for Roombas using the downward facing camera. Once it notices something, it would publish that data and then immediately switch to the next state where it would begin to choose a Roomba if there are multiple, based on the vector of that specific Roomba. Say if it's going to go out of bounds or something like that, we would want to go to that one first. And then it would localize the quad to the Roomba, go down and interact with the Roomba however many times necessary, and then return to a safe altitude. One more state is also if the 360 LiDAR detects any sort of object coming into our safe range, essentially, it would also return to the go to safe altitude state. So that's basically the overall idea of our code. Like I said, we didn't have a full team for the entire summer, so we've been pretty short-handed. So for this competition, we're just going to be observing. Safety, we went with a new frame this year, trying to just focus more on the coding aspect Other than that, the controls, we have the manual override and the software e-stop, which we haven't gotten to yet. This one we just missed out on, again, while we won't be flying in this competition. And so one of the guys on our team, his name is Nick, came up with a pretty cool design for a frame around a quad. And essentially the idea behind it is the quad will right itself anytime it bumps into something or crashes or loses connection or anything like that. So essentially the center of gravity on the quad, if it lands upside down, is too high and it's unstable, so it'll roll back over. So this is the idea, and it's kind of just got two big loops, and it's pretty cool. We have a short little video just to show that, and we'd like to implement that design in the future for next year, if possible. So we're going to try to pull up that video real quick. Do you guys have any questions while we're doing that?
Is this structure 3D printed, or how do you assemble
No. You mean the body of the quad?
Yeah, this feature is
No. Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Yes, this one is 3D printed. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the, yeah. And this is not obviously the same scale as the majority of the quads in this competition. That one is about probably a 6-inch square. So hopefully, if we can, yeah, here's the video. You can see it just kind of bounces around. Doesn't really, nothing really affects it. So that would be helpful in a situation like this where you have an object that's moving. And yeah, it's such a cool little thing we're trying out. So we haven't tested how well this would work in a full scale with a much heavier quad, because obviously you need much stronger loops essentially to go around it. But we'd definitely like to try it out, and hopefully the cost of the weight gain wouldn't be too much that it would make that a pointless idea. But we'll get there. Yeah. Any other questions? Anybody have? What's up?
This line is manual or automatic?
That's manual. It was just someone trying to fly it into a desk to show the purpose of the design. Anybody else have any questions? All right. Thank you guys.